What do you think? AI a threat or opportunity?
AI has kind of taken over all the fields by storm.
AI is going to eat your jobs and jobs is going to be disappeared.
The more technology advances, the more human skills will become premium.
Face the AI world fearlessly.
It may have had a slight impact. AI related stuff is it may
Today we are here for our next episode of AI Gappa Gosti, and we are going to talk about the future of jobs. Today's title of podcast is, and we have a very exciting guest with me. And as all of you know, that AI is not coming, actually already it's here. As last week, the India AI Impact Summit has happened, and already we are shifting a lot of changes, seeing on a ground reality, on a global perspective as well. So please welcome. Today we have Mr. Pawan Shekatkar with us. Welcome.
Thank you.
So Pawanji, as you know, Pawan Shekatkar has been with IT industry or overall 21 years of experience into HR leadership, then talent management, and currently working with Harbinger, a group of companies. So Pawanji, please can you just introduce yourself to our audience to get started?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me for this great AI Gappa Gosti initiative.
Yes.
I'm highly obliged, and it's a great experience to be a part of this discussion. I have, like you said, I've been working around for a few years. Currently associated with a company called Harbinger Group, where I look at talent management and I support other aspects of human resources for the organization.
Okay, great. Thank you. So, Pawan, to get started, recently, as we know, AI is a buzzword, but I believe right now it's not a buzzword. It's starting real impact on ground. So,
absolutely.
According to you, to state forward, what impact right now it is driving on the other side of table. I'm talking in perspective as an employee, and you are as an employee because you're sitting on the other side of table as an employer or a HR. So what are the basic changes that or shift that is happening right now in the field of HR in terms of AI?
So I would say it's not limited to any particular field. AI has kind of taken over all the fields by storm.
Right.
HR is no exception, or IT industry as such is also not an exception. What the companies, as in the employers as well as the employees, are thinking, they both are excited and a little nervous at the same time.
Correct.
Excitement is because there's something new that's come up, and a lot of people want to learn and be early adopters of new technology and new things that are there to offer, and leverage onto what it has to offer.
Correct.
So both, the employees would also want to do that, and at the same time, the employees are equally. In fact, there are courses that have started, which is in AI ML. So people are specializing into it and
Correct.
ensuring that they're there. So by the time, say, a few years down the line, when things are already all set, they will be there to make the most of it.
Correct. So as we speak, Pawanji, so what do you think? Because there is a lot of fear, I can say, in the job market perspective. AI is going to eat your jobs and jobs is going to be disappeared. So there is going to be a lot of automation. So what is your take on that hot topic? Because in our first episode, a lot of technical and software developers have joined our first or second episode, I guess. So they have asked this question repeatedly, which jobs are going to be impacted? Fundamentally, our jobs are going to stay relevant? It's going to increase or decrease? So what is your take on that?
Well, that's a very good question, and I think that's those are sentiments that all of us are feeling.
Great.
So I'll cite an example, if you're okay.
Yes, sure, please.
If you remember, I don't recollect the exact year, but somewhere in the 90s is when computers came. And what I get to know was there were a set of employees, bank employees to be particular, they had gone on a strike.
Oh,
fearing the same thing, that you've got computers, so you will not require us. We will be out of job. And they felt threatened the way we are feeling right now.
Right.
And we all know what is the case. We still have banks. We still have people working in banks.
Correct.
And computers have made their job easy.
Correct.
It may have had a slight impact. When I say this, what I mean to say specifically for AI related stuff is it may take up roles that are repetitive in nature.
Correct.
So you're doing some task, something which is on, and if that can be automated, that's something AI will do. So people who are in those kind of roles or jobs, would kind of need to upskill and look out for something else which they can latch onto and kind of transition into a different career maybe.
Oh, right. And I think fundamentally, as we speak, we know that now jobs will be there. I think the nature of jobs might be different.
The nature of jobs will differ.
And it will evolve over the period of time.
According to some recent survey that I had read, today, majority of the jobs or new areas of working are there, which maybe 5 or 7 years back never existed.
Correct.
Similarly, maybe another 5 years down the line, we may have certain nature of work which probably is not there today.
Correct. Yes, Pawan. So that brings me to the next question. As the particularly IT sector, because I think the most impacted sector will be IT. And recently we saw the stocks prices of IT service company in India or globally have come down. Drastically. So due to maybe the fear and maybe the nature of change, initially the fear and then adoption and then kind of the cycle of evaluation of change happens. Yes. So what do you think, as you are now working in a Harbinger Group and IT company as well? So what is your experience so far with Harbinger Group in terms of AI adoption? Because fundamentally, I think that is an important question.
Yes.
Is it a hype, or this is going to be fundamentally a significant shift in a way how we are going to work in the future?
So it will, so just coming back to the example that I gave you, so people didn't lose their jobs, or maybe not everyone lost their job, but they got more efficient with their work. They were able to save time or do more work in that same span of time. Mm-hmm. Similarly, maybe not in exact terms, but similarly, we'll be able to, current set of people will be able to do a lot of work in a short span of time. So they'll have more time to do more strategic and more relevant work that they can do.
Correct.
Talking about my organization, I'm lucky to be a part of this organization where we've had an AI first initiative where we would want everyone to be AI experts, right? Wow. From the senior management and down to the trainees that we've hired.
Wow.
And it's not that it's something that the company is pushing for people to do, but it's likewise. We would want people to be trained in AI, and equally, our set of employees, colleagues, they are also equally interested in upskilling themselves. We have a specific program where we are training employees on AI skills.
Okay.
Not just that, we are looking at every possible opportunity where we can I wouldn't say sell, but we can show our customers the benefit of embedding AI into their products that we're building for them.
Right.
And I may not be able to talk about financials, but that related initiative has definitely given a good push for the organization or industry as a whole.
Correct. So that's very good insight. So it brings me to the next question, Pawan ji. As a talent, you are working as a HR BP. As a talent perspective, what has fundamentally changed? So how the way you hire the talent. So what are the tools are there right now, and is there a filtration has increased a lot? Because I've seen a lot of my colleagues also now they are shifting job, but they are finding it a little difficult to shift the roles and all those things also. So what do you think about that?
So talking about AI in this particular section,
correct.
There are quite a few AI tools that have come up, which is to make the recruiters or the hiring team's job easy.
Right.
I have had an opportunity of working on one such platform where the initial time or the initial screening that you do, so if there is a job posting that a company does, there are multiple responses that the company gives, and practically it is a little difficult to look at all the applications that are received.
Correct. Absolutely.
So what some of the tools do is they do the initial screening bit.
Okay.
Wherein we are able to kind of get the selected bunch of applicants who are suitable for your role that you're hiring for, and then it is then a normal routine thing that we do. But even in there, we kind of dabbled into a tool where we even did the initial round of assessment through an AI platform, where the way we are talking, the platform asked questions and the candidates spoke and answered, and basis how they answered, the platform itself said, okay, these set of employees are the ones who've done well. There was a scoring pattern that we had, and then we took them in the round, and we were able to successfully close a senior position through that platform.
Okay, very good. So do you think that change is going to stay for a time being? or like in any technology there are pros and cons. So do you see any kind of cons in that?
You're equally right. I mean, there are there are pros and cons for every aspect. So as is quite relevant now that AI tools hallucinate.
Yes.
I mean, all the information that we get may not be 100% accurate.
Correct.
So that checks have to be in place. So that is definitely a thing to look at.
Okay. ठीक है. So now, as we are shifting more towards kind of from degree based to skill based as a nation, so
Yes.
a lot of emphasis being given on skill development and skill aspect.
Correct.
So where do you think, in what way employees a new, specifically I'm talking about the new pass out students, because they are now on the verge of the kind of .com boom that has happened in
That we
2000.
had, yes.
The same, I think a lot of people and global leaders are talking about that, the same fundamental change is going to happen. So how, according to your experience, what do you suggest to the new generation or people who are now entering into workforce, or maybe let's say the coming academic year, 26 pass outs, how they should prepare themselves to get into this workforce?
So I mean, it's my observation. I notice that every generation that comes in is few steps smarter than the previous generation.
Absolutely, yes.
So in that sense, the generation is definitely smarter. Other things that they need to look at is some of the skills that our generation or the generation before us had, basic things, basic mannerisms, which technology will not teach. If they imbibe them, I think it's going to be a great phase for that generation, because they are going to be the future generation, future workforce, so to say. What things can they look out for? I think most of them are wary. If they are not, they should be aware, okay, there is something called as artificial intelligence. How will it make my job easy? How is it going to help me? And look at the positives. What best can I make out of it? And how can I boost my academics and my professional career as we start off, and then thereafter.
Correct.
And as you rightly said, there are in fact some organizations which are now purely emphasizing on skills and not on degrees.
Right.
I can cite an example I heard of recently. There's a company called Zoho. I'm sure you would have heard.
Yes, absolutely.
It's an Indian founded company.
Correct.
And that company is emphasizing primarily on skills.
Thank you, Pawan. So now the next segment, as we talk about degree versus skills, so the next type question coming, which skills, there are fundamentally in any job role, there are technical skill and soft skill aspect to it. So where do you think, in maybe 10 years back, the technical skill were hot, and now, as recently I've heard Anthropic CEO talking about that a lot of jobs or coders are going to be automated. In many of companies already 70 to 60% code is being automated by a lot of tools, Claude, and then there is a Copilot, Microsoft, a lot of things. So where do you think the technical skill and soft skills are going to be in next 10 years or 5 years down the line?
That's again a good question. Both these skills need to go hand in hand. I mean, you can't just be good at soft skills and not know technology, or you can't be just good at technology and not know soft skills of how to use them, leverage them. So they have to go hand in hand, is what I can say.
Right. But again, when you right now, from a HR perspective, what do you right now in the world of AI or in this era of AI, which are the key skill set do you feel in terms of differentiate between, because we are competing with machines, so which are the top 3 skills that you feel will not be replaced by AI, or it is difficult to kind of go with that skill set?
I think emotional intelligence or empathy is something that will still stay with humans. I'm not too sure if those things can be automated.
Correct.
I mean, those things are going to be there. Things that it will help you is how could you use them, how could you make use of your communication. Certainly after the advent of AI recently, we've certainly seen the quality of emails improving.
Right.
And we can definitely make out that someone is using one of these AI tools.
Correct. Yes. So Pawanji, it brings me now to the next very interesting question in terms of it's all good, AI is changing the world and efficiency is being improved and a lot of stuff. But I also recently heard that a lot of people are being hallucinated or too much use of these tools also impacting the employees' mental health aspect. A lot of companies are also paying attention to that aspect as well. So what do you think in your organization, do you have some mechanism to tackle with this overuse of technology? Because any tool or technology being overused, I think that's not good.
That is very true. I think I can think of Swami Vivekananda's quote where he says, anything in excess is poison.
Correct.
So overuse of anything is going to have its ill effects. Talking about how do we cope with it? Well, luckily I notice we've not had, at least within my organization, I don't see anyone reaching that stage of overusing any of these tools.
Okay.
Because it's in the early phase where people are understanding how do they make use of it, and obviously there are some restrictions that everyone should have where what can you look at the tools and what you can't.
Correct.
So at least for now I don't see that happening.
Okay. So now, in any company, there is kind of entry-level jobs, mid-level jobs, and then there are senior position, or we call it leadership position. So where do you see AI's role is getting more impacted, or it will add more value in terms of these three different segments of job or roles?
That's a little difficult to predict because a few years back when this journey started, there were people kind of anticipated that it will start in three phases. The first phase is where the ground level work may get impacted, then the mid level work or strategic work, and then the creative side of it. But as we see now, the creative thing has already started getting impacted.
Right.
So be it photography or movies or whatever, it is kind of getting impacted there already.
Right.
So I'm not sure if there is a certain way of a certain direction that we can say it is going to head in that direction.
Correct. And recently, in the month of actually November, I have attended Bangalore Skills Summit. It's a 3-day summit. So in that summit, one of the speaker has told about me, he talk about AI literacy. So going forward, if you're not knowledgeable or you're not skilled enough about AI, so you will be distinct. So what do you think about that in that aspect?
Some way it may not impact in all streams of work.
Great.
Like if you have a restaurant, I mean, you will only have certain ways where you can use it, but the other skills are human skills.
Correct.
So they will not go away. But yes, certainly as going back to one of my previous examples, when computers came, thereafter we had Microsoft Office coming in, Excel and Word and PowerPoint. So what is the state today? The ones who know those skills are the ones who are there in demand.
Correct.
They are relevant. The ones who don't know it, the only choice they have is to upskill themselves and learn it.
Correct.
And it is something that is definitely learnable. It's not rocket science.
Correct. Absolutely. So I know, Pawanji, what do you think about, yesterday only I've read one of the article that it says that the era stable job is over. It means that going forward, you may have 10 years into one sector, then another, and then another. Let's say, for example, I will take example of one of our earlier generation who used to work, let's say he joined IT company in 2001. He had a stable job for 10 years, changed the company. In same company, he got promotion, stay there and retired. So, and I am sure it's not going to happen due to AI or maybe a shift in technology. So what do you think about
technology or generally how things are progressing? The example that you rightly gave, probably maybe a couple of generations before us, they stuck with the same company. They never changed jobs.
Correct.
They joined and retired from the same company. Then things started changing. Now maybe in our era, after a few years, we kind of change our jobs, and as seems the progress, people may not even do that. Or people may work at will.
Right.
They may dabble into something else of their choice or their interest.
Correct.
In India, probably that may take in more prevalence, but in other countries, things like that are already happening.
Correct.
Where so they are in one career for a few years, then they change their career, they move into a different
completely different, actually,
completely different
domain and industry and change and everything.
Yes.
So in that perspective, they are more adaptable, I think.
Correct.
And that's where I think the skill that I was talking about, the adaptability skill, is going to be more key aspect.
Quite important.
Correct. So
quite important.
how do you think that employer or anyone who is joining this workforce or maybe any industry, they should stay relevant or adaptable in terms of from a HR lens, how they should be adaptable at the same time be relevant?
Absolutely. So if I was to look at a candidate for any given position, I'll primarily look at the skills that are required for that role. Does the person have those skills? But at the same time, I'll also look at the person's will, or how is the person willing to do the job? Will the person put in that effort? Or will the person say, this is not that, I will not do it? So that attitude is going to be very important.
Okay. Right. And what do you think? According to, as you know, you have been working and hiring a lot of people. Which roles are right now are in demand in terms of AI, and which roles are not, that in next 5-10 years it's going to be very kind of vacant, or it may not grow at that pace of
Same pace.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned a while back, roles where the nature of work is repetitive, those may definitely go down. Talking about what roles are in demand, definitely someone who is an expert in using or leveraging AI is in demand. So machine learning, artificial intelligence, and how that can make things better. How they can showcase the benefit of using those skills to your end users or your customers is definitely something that is a plus. And those skills are in demand.
Right. So, as you know, employee and employer relationship is changing due to the AI, because I also fundamentally believe the human in the loop is very important factor.
Correct.
Because in the world of machine and AI is going to evolve. So, which human value you feel is going to be relevant specific in terms of this HR field? Relationship between employer and employee.
See, the human to human interaction is here to stay. You can't kind of do away with that. There has been some aspects where companies are kind of moving away from it. Banking could be an example where,
Correct.
in our good old days, or when we started working, is when we would go to a bank and do our work. Now, in the last few years, I don't recollect visiting a bank altogether.
Correct.
So those kind of domains is where that impact will be relevant. But the others, I think human to human interaction has to stay. It will stay, and how that continues and how we make use of it is important. Now, forget about AI, but from the times mobile phones have come and social media have come,
Right.
even in family gatherings, you will see everyone is stuck on their mobile.
Right.
And the personal time that one would spend with their close ones has gone down. So that is one aspect that we should be watchful of.
Right. Fantastic. So we have talked a lot about, from a skill perspective, from a fundamentally, but from a mindset perspective, because let's say I'm now a mid senior person, let's say 15 or 10 years of experience, and I have seen the wave of mobile technology or internet penetration wave in India. At least we are talking of Indian context, so we have the largest talent pool right now available with us, but still it's not, and I believe it's untapped, not used to the potential. So where do you see, as a company's perspective also, they need to invest in the talent training aspect, or what is the role of kind of a HR fraternity or HR BP kind of manager roles? Where do you see that is going ahead in the next 5 years?
So managerial skills. So there are two things. One is a manager and one's a leader. So we would need more of leaders and less of managers, because managers are task driven. They will want a particular task to be done, while leaders will look at your overall progress, not just getting the task done. I also personally believe in people development, giving that importance to the people, because when they feel that they are important, that importance is felt, they'll equally kind of reciprocate.
Right. So are you saying that the leadership skill is going to be more demand in coming years than the managerial skill aspect, at least in the IT, or more or less in a technology world?
See, sadly, we are the way things are in school education bit or thereafter, we are taught in a certain way, and that is how we continue.
Correct.
So there are a lot of untapped leaders that we have. Because they never know that they have that skill or that power in them. So getting that out. So today, for example, for a designation's sake, you might have a certain designation, an executive or a manager or a president. But no one stops you in acting like one.
Correct.
Even if you're an executive, you are doing that role. You're working for that function. What stops you in acting as the owner of the function?
Right.
You may not be a decision maker, but at the end of the day, what you're thinking about is only a positive thing to come out of it.
Correct. Very good, very. And I think a few last questions, Pawan. So in terms of this, as AI is impacting a lot on, suppose it's supposed to increase the productivity aspect of the employee and overall organization's profitability and all those things. Uh, but keeping the balance. So how do you think the balance will come? The productivity aspect and the mental being, or maybe keep pace at it, because if you look at the versions of the applications that are coming, in the last week it was kind of 4.3, now it's 4.5. The way, the pace at which technology is changing, how a talent, or how you are engaging talent to keep a balance.
That's a difficult thing to kind of match up for organizations as a whole.
Correct.
As you said, in a week's time, if something new is coming up, how do you cope up with something like that?
Right.
So the only thing is constant upskilling of yourself is what one needs to look at.
Yeah. Yes, Pawan, thank you. So I think we are coming to the end of episode, but before that, I would like to ask a few questions from a student perspective. Let's say you are now 20-year-old today. How you will plan your career in the technology revolving AI era?
I think this is one of the best phases for someone to start their career.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when we started a few years back, we didn't have all these advantages or best possible ways of upskilling ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that I would encourage all the students to do is get a grip of your core skills that you're getting into, so that basics foundation is very clear.
Correct.
And all the other thing, that's okay. That's kind of beautification. But as long as you're strong, so it could be, say, someone who's becoming a lawyer, them to be very skilled in that. Someone's becoming a cricketer, they need to be very confident and groomed on their core skills that they bring.
Okay.
Or any other skill, maybe technology, for example, as we're talking about technology.
Right. So it brings me to the question, right now, there are two aspects, generalist and specialist.
Correct.
So as a student, I should be, because I have heard a lot of people saying that, it's a good time to be generalist because AI generalist karke bhi there is a new role coming up.
It might come in. And it is definitely something to think about. To talk about HR or human resources as a function, also we have specialist roles like an HR VP, for example. That's a specialist role.
Correct.
Well, there is also an HR generalist person, who kind of that role would kind of look at all the other aspects of HR. But I think moving ahead, someone knowing more skills rather than knowing only one skills will be at advantage.
Okay. So as we speak, the setting or the mode of operation of post-COVID has changed dramatically. A lot of people prefer remote working, or some companies have started hybrid working, and some US companies offer permanent work from home. So what is your take on that kind of mode of working, whether it should be hybrid or remote completely?
My take would be a personal take, but overall, if I look at it, COVID was a game changer. That phase rather was a game changer. Before that, working from home was kind of unheard of.
Correct. At least in India, it was really
unheard of.
Correct.
But yes, that way of working has changed. It slowly post-COVID, when things started stabilizing, it moved towards hybrid working. And currently, some organizations have gone back to the old way of working from office as well.
Right.
If you ask me my views, I think hybrid working is something that will stay. That is here to stay, because that gives a good balance of how one can manage their personal and professional way. It gives you that work-life balance, which is very essential.
Okay. Okay. So before wrapping up, so we are introducing new segment called Rapid Fire to our guest. So nothing personal, Pawan. It will be just quick in terms of AI centric only. What do you think? AI a threat or opportunity?
Opportunity.
Okay. Yeah. Degree or skills?
Skills.
Remote or hybrid?
Hybrid.
One skill everyone must learn in the 2026 year. If you pick one, I know it's hard, but you have to pick one skill.
Are there any options?
No.
Okay, one skill that is here to stay is be true to yourself. I mean, that's something that we are very superficial. Okay, we just go with the wind or so. But you need to be true to yourself. Okay, this is something that I'm not strong at. I need to learn it.
Learn it.
And as long as you are true to yourself, you will be able to do well.
Okay. And final one, human intelligence versus artificial intelligence.
What do you think? It is always going to be human.
Absolutely. So we all believe that human is going to stay in the race because ultimately we have invented the AI now, and that is I think a key takeaway, at least for me in this episode, is that you need to stay relevant and adaptable in the AI era, but at the same time, you need to be a human.
Absolutely. In fact, there's a quote that I can share over here, which is like, the more technology advances, the more human skills will become premium.
Wow. So thank you, Pawanji.
Thank you.
We will end the episode on this note. Thank you for your time. Thanks.
Thank you once again.
And I urge all our viewers to share this episode to their nearest and dearest one to spread the, our motto of AIGG, that is AI Gappa Gosti initiative, to spread about not the fear about, but face the AI world fearlessly. So thank you for watching. Keep sharing. Thank you.